Top 32 Popcorn List. 1. Ajuma 2022. Directed by Hee Shuming, a widow obsessed with Korean soap operas travels abroad for the first time in her life and finds more than she bargained for in Seoul. The film garnered 4 nominations at the 59th Golden Horse Awards, and Hong became the first Singaporean to be nominated for the Best Leading Actress award. It premiered at the 2022 Busan International Film Festival. 2. American Pot Story, Oaksterdam 2023, directed by Ravit Marcus, Denkadzia. American Pot Story, Oaksterdam tells the unknown origin story of how a handful of underdogs risked everything to spark the current worldwide revolution in cannabis policy. Reflecting Oakland, California's rich history of civil resistance, they opened the first ever cannabis college, Oaksterdam University, and got Prop 19, a measure to legalize cannabis, on the ballot in California, thus bringing this taboo topic to the mainstream and opening a conversation on its social justice impact. 3. Art for Everybody 2023. Directed by Miranda Youssef, Thomas Kincaid's pastoral landscapes made him the most collected and despised painter of all time. After his shocking death, his family discovers a vault of unseen paintings that reveal a complex artist whose life and work embody our divided America. 4. Blood, Sweat and Beers, or How the Sloppy Boys Made an Album on a Farm in West Texas 2023. Directed by Robert Holguin. From sketch comedy to an acclaimed podcast, the Sloppy Boys are taking their musical aspirations to the next level when they join forces with legendary keyboardist and producer Money Mark at the famed Sonic Ranch studio in West Texas. They only have 5 days to make their comedy rock dreams come true. 5. Caterpillar 2023. Directed by Liza Mandelup, a 50-something queer man who always had issues with his looks, David becomes obsessed with the idea of changing his eye color. When he finds a company that can perform this surgery, he believes has finally found solace. Vacillating between destructive vanity and admirable resilience, David is a fascinating subject in a film that examines societal notions of physical beauty and how they manifest in people's psychology while uncovering the dark side of the international plastic surgery industry. 6. Chasing Amy 2023. Directed by Save Rogers, Chasing Amy explores the transformational impact of a 90s rom-com on a 12-year-old kid from Kansas, coming of age and contending with queer identity. For young Save Rogers, the Kevin Smith cult classic, Chasing Amy became a life raft. As Rogers examines the film and its making as a cornerstone of LGBTQ+ cinema, he finds himself at a complicated crossroads. 7. Citizen Sleuth 2023. Directed by Chris Kasich, Citizen Sleuth examines the ethics of the true crime genre and how the power of narrative can affect truth and communities. The film follows Emily Nestor and her Mile Marker 181 podcast, as she conducts an amateur murder investigation into the death of Jalea Davis. Emily teases a cover-up by the sheriff's department and pursues her top suspects. With a growing audience of millions, Emily's podcast becomes a hit. But as she gets deeper into her investigation, Emily's confronted with a new truth she struggles to tell her listeners. Told in real time over years, Citizen Sleuth chronicles the rise, fall, and redemption of a podcaster in the new media landscape. 8. City of Wind 2023. Directed by Lkagvajalam Purivokar, a spiritual shaman is a crucial member of the community, the one who everyone depends on when in need of moral and spiritual guidance. What happens when that shaman is a 17-year-old high school student who must balance his profound spiritual responsibilities while also juggling another life, that of a high school student, working hard to success in the cold, callous society of modern Mongolia? Introducing Zay, 17-year-old gentle Mongolian shaman. 9. Crows Are White 2022. Directed by Ahsan Nadim, for over 1,000 years, a secretive Buddhist sect has lived on an isolated monastery in Japan, performing acts of extreme physical endurance in their pursuit of enlightenment. A filmmaker struggling to reconcile his desires with his faith, sets off to the strict monastery in search of answers. When he arrives, his presence is not welcomed and the only monk who will speak with him is an outcast who prefers ice cream and Slayer to meditation. Together they forge an unlikely friendship that leads them to higher truths and occasionally a little trouble. Shot over 5 years on 3 continents, Crows Are White is an exploration of truth, faith, and love, from the top of a mountain to the bottom of a sundae. 10. Dancing the Stumble 2023. Directed by Wally Fall, in Martinique, a psychiatric daycare hospital welcomes a young artist researcher to lead ballet dance and music workshops. The film crafts an intimate dialogue between the director's inner questions, the words of those who learn to live with a psychiatric diagnosis, and the ancestral energy of ballet. 11. Egghead and Twinke 2023. Directed by Sarah Cam Holland, the Seattle International Film Festival, SIFF, describes the film as a coming-of-age LGBTQ+ comedy. After awkwardly coming out to her conservative parents, an Asian American teenage girl takes off on a 2,000-mile road trip to meet her online crush with the help of her nerdy best friend. Bursting with colorful animation and kinetic comic book flourishes, EGGHEAD and Twinke is a heartwarmingly sincere directorial debut about embracing your identity and the ups and downs of best friendship. 12 Impossible 2023. Directed by Sakita Lewis, when a man with big dreams is diagnosed with a life-threatening illness, he forms an unbreakable bond with a widowed fast food worker to do the impossible, transform his life and pursue his passion of becoming a police officer. 13 Jessilla 2023. Directed by Emily Sheeskin, Jessie Lynn Silva is a 15-year-old 3x national boxing champion. However, when she is on the cusp of making the Olympic team, she is forced to face her toughest battle yet, a cancer diagnosis. 14 Oat 2023. Directed by Malik Isasis, Esra Saydam, Oat is a Turkish word that means beyond. Lela, a black woman, backpacking across Turkey, connects with locals more deeply than she expected and finds herself drawn to stay. 15 Out There, a National Park Story 2023. Directed by Brendan Hall, a young filmmaker sets out on a 10,000-mile exploration of the national parks with his childhood best friend during the centennial year of the formation of the National Park Service. Along the way, the two record stories of the people that work in the parks and those that come to enjoy them, as part of the rich tapestry of the history of the park system, emerges. Far from any cliched narrative, they hear profound stories of people from all ages, walks of life, and cultures that come to the park seeking tranquility, healing, motivation, and connection to the natural world. Between the spectacular shots of the parks and compelling interviews are colorful bits of old maps, posters, and travelogues. This stunning road trip is a tribute to the national parks and their history, and is also a recognition of the people that appreciate them and work to maintain their beauty. 16 Q 2023. Directed by Jude Shahab, an intimate portrayal of a quest for love and acceptance at any cost, Q depicts the influence of a secretive matriarchal religious order on filmmaker Jude Shahab's family and the unspoken ties and consequences of loyalty that have bonded her mother, grandmother, and herself to the mysterious organization. A love story of a different kind, Q is a multi-generational tale of the eternal search for meaning. 17 All the Flowers 2022. Todas las flores. Directed by Carmen Oquendaviller, brothels are rarely seen as safe or dignifying. Yet in a red light district of Colombia, a country torn by decades of war, there's a tiny brothel named Tabaco y Ron, which acts as a shelter and shield for trans sex workers that work there. Through a choral portrait of the trans community that inhabits the brothel, this documentary constructs an intimate vignette of this remarkable space. Located in Santa Fe, Bogotá, the brothel operates in a zone that concentrates all the miseries of a blood-stained region but is also an oasis for all people desperately fleeing war. 18 Truth Be Told 2023. Directed by Nneka Onyeara, while an important cultural epicenter with a rich political history of anti-racist organizing, the Black Church has historically fallen short when it comes to supporting the LGBTQ+ community and its queer members. Equal parts healing journey and incisive examination, this essential, extremely necessary portrait critiques the Black community lovingly, balancing the beauty of fellowship within the church against the damaging legacy it must work to undo. 19 Unbroken 2023. Directed by Beth Lane. Have you ever wondered if you could be a hero? Would you hide an entire family? Who would hide you if you needed to be hidden? I am the daughter of Holocaust survivor, and the questions I ask myself all the time are, would I be here if my mother hadn't been hidden? And who else helped my mother and her siblings survive? 20 26.2 to Life 2022. Directed by Christine Yu. Filmed inside California's oldest state prison, 26.2 to Life explores the transformative power of San Quentin's 1,000-mile club, in which incarcerated men train for and run a marathon on the dirt and concrete path circling the prison yard. 21 The Accidental Getaway Driver 2023. Directed by Sing J. Lee, it is inspired by the 2016 abduction of Long Ma. During a routine pickup, an elderly Vietnamese taxi driver is taken hostage by 3 recently escaped Orange County convicts. Based on a true story. Premiered at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival on January 23, where Lee received the directing award in U.S. Dramatic for the film. 22 Angel Applicant 2023. Directed by Ken August Meyer, a sick man discovers empathetic wisdom on how to cope with his deadly autoimmune disease within the colorful expressive works of the late Swiss-German modern artist Paul Klee. 23. Bad Behaviour 2023. Directed by Alice Englert, Bad Behaviour is a 2023 New Zealand black comedy film. Lucy, a former child actor, seeks enlightenment at a retreat led by spiritual leader Elon while she navigates her close yet turbulent relationship with her stunt performer daughter, Dylan. The film premiered at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival on January 21, 2023 and was released in select New Zealand cinemas on November 2, 2023. 24. City of Love 2023. Directed by Eric Boadella, Spencer, a troubled rideshare driver in Los Angeles, goes to dangerous lengths to reconnect with the world he lost after spending 20 years in jail. 25. Dusty and Stones 2022. Directed by Jesse Rudoy, Dusty and Stones struggle to sustain a country music career in their tiny African kingdom of Swaziland and yearn for greater recognition. When they are unexpectedly nominated to compete in a Texas Battle of the Bands, the two cousins journey to the heart of American country music, determined to win big and turn their careers around. 26. Hundreds of Beavers 2022. Directed by Mike Cheslick, in the 19th century, a drunken Applejack salesman must go from zero to hero and become North America's greatest fur trapper by defeating hundreds of beavers. 27. King Cole 2023. Directed by Elaine McMillian Sheldon, the cultural roots of coal continue to permeate the rituals of daily life in Appalachia even as its economic power wanes. The journey of a coal miner's daughter exploring the region's dreams and myths, untangling the pain and beauty, as her community sits on the brink of massive change. 28. Late Bloomers 2023. Directed by Lisa Steen, Louise, an aimless 28-year-old Brooklynite recently single, sort of a musician, depressed without admitting to it, drunkenly falls while doing something stupid and breaks her hip. This lands her in a physical therapy ward full of people twice her age. There she meets Antonina, a cranky elderly Polish woman, who speaks no English. Louise gets a job caring for her. Neither woman loves the arrangement, but it's time to face the truth about aging. We all have to grow up sometime. 29. Last Movie Ever Made 2023. Directed by Nathan Blackwell, with the world about to end, Marshall convinces a group of friends and strangers to help finish the sci-fi movie he abandoned in high school. 30. Mountains 2023. Directed by Monica Sorrell, while looking for a new home for his family, a Haitian demolition worker is faced with the realities of redevelopment as he is tasked with dismantling his rapidly gentrifying Miami neighborhood. 31. Summer Solstice 2023. Directed by Noah Scamus, Leo, a trans man, and his cis and straight friend, Eleanor go away for an impromptu weekend trip during which they uncover old secrets, new challenges, and find the answer to the age-old question, can bad sex and good friends mix? 32. Asog 2023. Directed by Sean Devlin, Asog is a 2023 Canadian-Philippine docufiction film. This unique narrative incorporating documentary elements follows Ray, a 40-year-old non-binary teacher and typhoon survivor, on a road trip to fame. With surreal comedy and social portrait realism, filmmaker Sean Devlin explores climate change, LGBTQ+ issues, and the impact of colonialism on contemporary Philippines. The film won the Grand Jury Prize for Screenwriting, International Narrative Feature at the 2023 Outfest. At Calgary, the film received a special jury citation from the RBC Emerging Canadian Artist Award jury.